and Busy podcast is back after a month hiatus because we've been so busy. There's been about 4 or 5 different occasions where we said we were gonna make a podcast, and it just did not happen. And it almost didn't happen tonight. But you know what? I don't know, we're just making ourselves do it.
We love it. We love it. It's just like, oh my gosh, we have to. Well, first of all, like I feel like I always take a shower, and then you're like, let's do the podcast, and I'm like, okay, like, how about before I take a shower? And then I'm usually sweaty, and so it's just a whole debacle. But we don't care.
Basically, what everyone needs to know is it's been Shira's fault on why we haven't done a podcast recently. She's been the busy one. Showers, brushing her teeth, all the stuff that prevents us from making this. But nonetheless, we're back. It's been a cool and busy month. We're rocking our hog gear because Arkansas is hosting the regionals this weekend, and we're trying to get this podcast done before the game tonight. Hopefully Arkansas, they play Creighton. If they win, then they'll host the Super Regional next weekend, I believe, and it probably would be Tennessee, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, we got a game to catch tonight, so we're going to jump on here and knock this out. But, babe, it's been a busy month. We had my mom in town for Mother's Day. So we had a Mother's Day weekend. We traveled to see your family for a long trip. We drove, took the dog. Hadn't been there in a while. We've got CMA Fest coming up in Nashville this week. So some big events that you've been working on. So it'll be a busy week for us. We've got a lot coming up throughout the summer too. But what's been where have you been? What's been keeping you busy?
Well, I think one of the biggest things we've shifted is just with the weather being so nice. We've shifted our workouts to earlier in the morning. So we have a little bit more time in the evening. So that's really been a good change for us, but it's definitely thrown us for like some more structure in our day. So I've been getting up early, going to the gym, knocking out early morning walks. And then if we can, I'm doing solid core sauna in the evenings after work. But just like having really full days works great. CMA Fest is this week as well. So Nashville is going to be absolutely, I hate to use the word even wild. It's going to be insane. And so we're looking forward to it, but it is also like, it gets a little wild around this time. And when you live here, sometimes you're kind of like, okay, people, get a grip. But we're really excited for CMA Fest. It's going to be cool to see who's here. And we're going to be kind of close to the action this year because we're going to be inside Music City Center. So that'll be fun to see a lot of the artists close by.
Yep. So Holly Hat Bar will be there with a booth at the event this year. So that'll be awesome. We're privileged to be able to hang out. Hopefully we'll see a lot of people, make a lot of cool hats, see a lot of good music. So this will be something different for us, which is really cool. We had to change up our workout schedule a little bit and our sauna schedule because honestly, some things have changed where we have to park when we go to the sauna. And I've run into one too many Karens lately in the parking garage. And honestly, I'm just tired of it. So we've completely changed up our dog walk, workout, sauna schedule over the past few weeks. Shira, she thought I was about to get out the car and have a standoff. I did have a standoff. I mean, I sat there and didn't move for a few minutes because I stood my ground. I wasn't about to get punked around by a Karen in the parking garage. I don't know if you think it was my fault or not, but I was having a day, and nobody was going to tell me what to do. I was going to get out of the parking garage on my own terms, and it changed up our whole schedule. That one night and that one bad event, now we've had a completely different workout schedule.
Well, also because the weather's nice. We've wanted to spend more time in the evenings outside. It has been an incredibly cold, rainy spring here in Nashville, but the weather's nice now for the most part. So you do really want to be outside. You want to be outside and get home when it's light and still enjoy the summer nights. I totally get that. Chris did have multiple moments. With Karens, I think he was like a Karen magnet for like a week and a half straight and kept getting in these very uncomfortable, and I don't think you were in the wrong positions, just the parking garages are too small. There's nowhere to turn around in if there's no parking. And some people just the problem is they go too fast in the parking lot, and it's a circle or it's a spiral, so like there's no way to go fast in there. So it becomes very unsafe. It becomes like very compact, and Chris can't back out when somebody's blocking him in to get his parking spot. So it was like very
And
bizarre
we're in
moments
a
in of parking.
we're in a city that's full. It's a country music country city. Everyone's driving a truck or an SUV, or at least a lot of people. And these parking garages have like 90% compact car parking and 10% truck SUV. So you got to take up two spots. Everyone does. Uh, then you get charged. The paid parking, that's
Yeah.
another thing. It's just too many businesses are sharing a garage. So there's too many people. There's not enough parking spots. Parking spots aren't big enough, and I just got tired of it. And yes, it being light out longer definitely makes me want to. We have the rooftop we've been waiting to use because it's been raining all spring. Um, so now we've got baseball
Yep.
on. We're going to be watching some ball on the roof. Got the lights up. We're going to enjoy it while we can. But yeah, met a Karen. I was gonna get a little vulnerable.
He met multiple
I
Karens.
met multiple Karens. Yeah, I had a week, and usually I'm the nice guy. I drive like a grandpa. I'm very much thinking about other people. Like
True.
hey, you go first. Like I'm not here to cause a scene, whatever. But something finally
He is.
snapped. Someone finally snapped. I finally snapped, and I was like, I'm tired. I'm done. I'm gonna start being a Karen myself if I have to. I don't know, but
Well, I have never seen you as we've been together for over 7 years. I've never seen you as angry at someone else probably that I can think back. And it kept happening, and it was just like the worst experience. And anybody that knows Chris, he drives like a grandpa. Like I'm just like, please, a little faster sometimes. Like I need to get home, or like we need to get somewhere. And Chris is just like la di da di everybody. But I will give him like the I felt for him. I felt it was uncomfortable for me because I got two Karens going at each other. It was just bad news bears. Let's just say that.
bad news bears. But it's been better since we've changed up the schedule. Hadn't dealt with many Karens. I don't know what it was about
Yep.
that week, but we're good. But wanted to talk about a couple other
We're good.
things. I made some notes. Number one, I
Okay.
took a look, yeah, at the podcast metrics where it tells you, how many people
Okay.
downloaded the podcast and all that stuff. And we're getting, as we do more, there's more people that listen. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. Trying to do better about doing these more consistently. But what shocked me was the cities that we had people listening to us in. And I don't know how this works. I don't know if they're actually listening. I don't know if it's like a bot. I don't know. But we had some weird ones where we were like, we don't know anybody in these cities. We had like, I don't know, Hershey, Pennsylvania, Brooklyn, New York, middle of nowhere, Iowa. I don't even know the town name. We had some. I don't. We had someone in Nevada. We've had a lot in Georgia, Arkansas, because it's kind of more of our ties. We had Texas, but kind of cool. I hope people are listening to us in some different cities. That's kind of cool if they are. But I was looking through it and I was like, who do we know in some of these places? Like, I don't know. It was just a cool thought and something I'd share. Just figured, as we're trying to do better about this, it was kind of cool looking at the metrics of it all.
Well, we appreciate it. And I think more than anything, it motivates us to, we're just having a good time here, but we hope we're motivating you and giving you some laughs and giving you something to look forward to each week. And so it kind of makes us stay more accountable. So we do appreciate it. And We love, I think we talked about on the last podcast, we've like got a lineup of some friends and some really great acquaintances that people that we would love to have on the podcast coming up. So that's one of our big like next steps. And so we're excited to bring some people on and chat about some things that we've already kind of been talking about, but go in depth, but also just like get some really cool people on this podcast because there's some really great people out there that we're meeting every day. And we just have so many great friends that bring so much light to us. So sometimes it's really cool to hear like their stories and bring them on. So that kind of like the future is we're looking forward to keeping ourselves accountable, one, but two, having some more like entertainment from others who we feel like are really great like additions to what we're talking about and just the health, the wellness, sports, life, good laughs, and bringing some joy to you as well.
Yep, that's right. We do have some people. We do have some people coming on the pod. We do have some guests scheduled, or we're in the process of scheduling. We're just kind of nailing down a date, but we've got some people committed, and that'll be really cool. I know, one in particular will be a heavy fitness, health, focus type podcast. That I know we're excited about. Um, I've got a buddy that's transitioning, doing their own real estate business now, and as a couple who we're interested in the market and the housing and all that. I know a lot of people are right now. We'll have some in-depth conversation around that. We'll have some sports stuff, some music. We've done a lot of. We need to talk about some music too. We have so many music friends here in Nashville. We worked a Maddie and Tay, their album release party a few weeks ago. That was cool. We got to meet them, their husbands, their friends and family.
It was great.
And we've got some friends here who are doing some big things musically, starting to get some traction and play a lot of places. So we'll get them on too, so people can kind of see who we're interacting with on a day-to-day basis. But speaking of making you laugh, I thought I'd get a little bit vulnerable for a second because, and a lot of my buddies know one of these stories, but I figured I would just call this bad investments with Chris and talk about a couple of things that are pretty funny. And this stems actually because I had a couple of buddies this week text me and they go, "Hey man, what happened to Safemoon? How do I get a hold of my Safemoon wallet so I can get some money out?" And for those of you that don't know, Safemoon was a cryptocurrency that a lot of people got on board with. Dave Portnoy, Barstool, he bought Safemoon too, so it wasn't your every average Joe. But long story short, the creator of Safemoon is going to go to jail for a very long time because it was a not a legitimate investment per se. But me and all my friends, we thought we were going to become millionaires. We all lost a few $100, But I was sitting there thinking,
You thought it was what it was going to save us from the future. We were going to be millionaires. Like it was the thing. And I also just want to, I'm sorry to interrupt on this one, but I had to preface this. This is Bad Investments with Chris. We actually talked about this for quite a while this week, and we couldn't pinpoint bad investments with Shira.
Yeah, so I was kind of disappointed about that. I thought we were going to share this hard time, but really,
we worked, we talked, and we didn't have any.
Yeah, well, we figured we'd keep it in and just kind of pick on me for a little bit, but yeah, I did buy Safemoon when it first came out. Really, it went up. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like it was in the 2021 time frame when all these cryptos were going off. People were becoming millionaires. And I was like, oh, I'm next, baby. I'm about to have a few $1 million in the bank. We're about to do some cool things. But no, it didn't happen. I do have some buddies that pick on me about it. I'm okay with it. It was a bad call. It was a fun one to be a part of, though. And I'm sure it'll be a great Netflix documentary because of how many people, bought some Safemoon. Like I said, Dave Portnoy's involved too, y'all. That guy makes money. He jumped on the bandwagon too. So it was a lot of, high visible individuals who did it too. But I'm here to admit it was a bad investment.
It's a name for me, Safemoon. It's a name for me, Safemoon. Like, yeah, we knew Safemoon. I was like, moon? Like, why would, like, this makes no sense to me. But I let it happen. And actually, I'm really thankful. I never even thought about it after we talked about it for the last time, like probably 2 years ago when you were talking about it. Because I just knew it was like something very funny.
Yeah.
Funny. I didn't even think it
What?
was going to happen. And it turned out the way we thought, or way I thought.
Good lesson. Good. It was just funny. I've had like 4 or 5 people actually reach out over the last few weeks, like, "Hey, what's going on with Safemoon? Hey, where's the?" And I'm like, hate to be the one to break it to you, but you ain't getting your money back on this one. So bad
We lost
investment.
some money.
Bad investment for all of us. Okay. The other story
Okay,
I was
what's
gonna.
another bad investment that you've had?
Yeah. So another one. A lot of people know this story because it happened about when I was in college. When I was in college, I decided big lake guy. I like the water. Okay, like the water. I was in college. I got a student refund check for the first time. I was like, "Yo, got a couple $1,000s. This is cool." Instead of putting it towards, food and groceries and probably some other things I needed, I went and bought a couple jet skis. Yeah, bought a couple jet skis. I bought a couple jet skis on what I thought was eBay. Uh, as it turned out, it was a fake website. I actually got $2,000 in cash, and I went to Western Union and I sent $2,000 in cash to someone in Ohio. And they guaranteed me in 2 days the jet skis were going to show up at my house. The jet skis never showed up at my house. So,
I mean, this is like so bad it's like hurts me a little bit. Like, did you give him your address? Like any of these things? Like, come on now.
yeah, I mean, they had my address, yeah, because I sent the money. And when I realized that the jet skis weren't coming, one of my friends, his dad was actually like a police chief in the city, and I actually sat down with him and went through what happened. And he looked at me and just said, he used the F word. He said, "You're an effing idiot, dude. Like you're never gonna see this money again. I can't believe how dumb you are." He was a loving, I knew him. He was being a dad moment there. He was just like, "You're gonna learn a hard lesson here, son. You're not getting this money back." Um, so they ended up
Oh,
being ghost skis, for what people like to call them that pick on me. I bought these jet skis, they never showed up. But this actual story ends a little bit in a positive way. I actually did get all of the money back. I got all of the money back about 10 years later because Western Union got sued because they didn't protect people like me. I didn't sue them, it wasn't me. Um, Somebody else sued them, and I got an email saying, "Hey, is this the amount of money that you sent on this date?" And I was like, "Yes, it was." And literally 2 years later, I got paid from it was I forgot if they sent me a check or if it was like a deposit, but I got every single dollar back. So it was like investing in a no interest savings account, at the end of the day.
well, the best part is the other day you said, "Hey, I really think we should get some jet skis soon." And I was like, I don't think we have good luck with jet skis. And I, why would we go down that road again?
That's how this story came about. Yeah, that's how I remember this. And if we get jet skis, we will go buy them in person and bring them home ourselves. We won't go buy them on eBay. But again, lesson learned. I
Oh,
got the money back. Everyone has a nice laugh. Anytime my friends see some jet skis, they take a picture, send them to me. Haha, there's your jet skis. They never showed up, whatever. Um, but no, we knew the guy who did it. We didn't know him personally, but we knew where he lived at. He was in Cincinnati, Ohio. There wasn't anything anybody could do about it. But yeah, that was a dumb college Chris, bad investment moment. I was telling all my buddies too. I got 2 jet skis. We're going out on the lake this year. Yeah, we didn't go to the lake that year. No.
I wonder how many people he actually sold the jet skis to.
That's a good question. Like, how many of me's actually sent him $2,000? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have made
Yep.
bank. He could have made some serious bank.
Yeah.
Because what if he had other products too? He could have had
Yeah.
cars, could have had computers. He could have had all kinds of stuff he was fake selling.
He was scamming
Oh, he was scamming.
for
He was
sure.
scamming. But that's my top two.
Oh,
That's my top two bad. I haven't made a
okay.
ton. I haven't made a ton, but those are funny. Safemoon and jet skis with a student refund check. You know, so I don't know. We were talking about some of these stories, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna admit some bad decisions on my part, in hopes I don't do them again, because I
It's
don't ever
okay.
want to tell
It's
these
okay.
stories again.
Well, I just hope that everyone that, if you're Chris, like conned you into buying Safemoon, I'm sorry, um, for your losses, but
I
he
talked it
really
up
did believe
to
in
several
Safemoon. He
people. I
believed
talked it
you're,
up to several people. I admit, I was hyped. I was on the hype train.
and we all know he can do that. He can do that. He can talk. So he's a salesman. So we just don't buy Safemoon from Chris.
Yeah, just don't buy safe moon. Don't.
Love it.
Yeah, no safe moon.
What else you got
No.
on your agenda over there tonight?
Yeah, I think I just had one more thing. Some of the things we've been busy with, obviously a lot of work. Um, one thing I've been working on, obviously, I think a lot of people know, I started Books for Guys a couple years ago,
Yep.
which with the intent and purpose of just motivating men and young men to read more. Um, I started picking up reading when I got into college. I ended up transferring to a school where I didn't know a lot of people, and I kind of read on the weekends, and it just leadership books, finance books, books, sports books, and I just started learning a whole lot. And as I got in my professional career, a lot of meetings that I was having with with people who were way more advanced in life than I was, they always had a good book recommendation, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of places for guys to go get book recommendations or talk about books with each other. Kind of say, hey, what's a good leadership book? Hey, what's a motivational book? Or what's I don't know, a healthy eating book. I'm trying to lose weight or something. And I was like, I'm going
Yeah.
to create a cool spot for guys to go and find good book recommendations. And so I created it a couple years ago. I've been posting, books on there, so it's constantly getting more and more. But starting to get a little more intentional with it. I want to be able to grow it to a point to where, I can work with different schools or nonprofits or boys clubs, and get to a point to where we generate some actual income where we can donate money or do some cool things where we buy books for young men. um, and again, it's just kind of one of those things we're trying to grow it to where we can do some really cool things with it. And so I've got a lot of
Yeah.
clarity and purpose behind it now. So if you get a chance, go check out the booksforguys.com website. We do have like a small subscription that we're doing now. It's $3 a month. $3 a month. We're going to do a bunch of cool things: reading template, free book giveaways, and a portion of that we're going to dedicate to giving it away, and trying to do some cool things. Trying to work with some fraternities now. I know community's big with those guys, so we're trying to do some stuff in different states, to where we can give back to different communities. And again, be super cool if we're able to, at some point, generate enough where we're able to like show up and bring books, or ask somebody like specifically, what book would you enjoy reading, and be able to go get it for them. So a lot of vision. I've got a lot of stuff going on with that, and that's kind of been keeping us busy too. Um, I've been working normal work
Yep.
hours, and then at night sitting on my iPad, just sending out messages, updating the website, getting everything kind of
Yep.
organized where we can attack and go make some really cool things happen. So did want to share that, as I'm passionate about it, and really hope to grow that this year, to a point where we get to do some really cool things with it.
Love it. I think the thing I was going to share is like just a couple things that I've been like really enjoying. Kind of for our 10th podcast, I thought, what can I bring that like, okay, you've got a lot like going, I've got a lot going, but what are some things that I feel like are really valuable right now that are interesting at least? And one of them, if you haven't seen this Netflix documentary, I'm going to throw this one at you first. Chris has not seen this because I couldn't stop watching it when I started it. But the Tylenol murders, I highly recommend you watch this. Talks, one, it's just wild. It's the wildest story. and how it ends is incredibly wild, still unsolved. But it also talks a lot about our medical system, a lot of the things that are going on in our world right now that we're seeing with health and wellness. And so I think it's like a really cool, it's a cool watch. If you like documentaries, great. If you like scary things, great. If you like to learn more about health and wellness, like kind of there's like a whole bunch of different things and genres you can kind of like all tap into there. I think it's a great one to watch. But yeah, Chris has not got to watch this one, but I highly recommend jumping into that one.
Yeah, I saw it in the sauna. I said, "Hey, babe, let's not watch this in the sauna. Let's watch it together at home." The very next day, we went to the sauna. Shira started the documentary, so now I'm behind. I'll have to catch up, but it does sound very intriguing. We like stuff like that, where, like you said, there's a lot getting uncovered in the food space, the drug space. There's a lot coming out, so this is definitely a documentary I think a lot of people will find interesting. I'm gonna hopefully start it at some maybe next week when we get through CMA Fest. Um, would like to watch that, but yeah, that's a good recommendation. I know that's something you were. I came up. I think I was watching the game, and I was working. Came up, and Shira's in bed. She's like, "You gotta watch this. It's insane." And I was like, "Thanks. I planned on it, but
Yeah.
I'll catch up eventually."
Well, another thing too, just recommending another podcast. I'm a huge Theo Vaughn and Andrew Huberman podcast. Are like my two other favorite podcasts. And Theo actually did a podcast this week with Huberman, so I have not listened to it. That's on my agenda this week. But if you haven't heard the Theo Vaughn, retired Las Vegas surgeon of Christopher Curtis, fabulous listen, understanding more about like police tactics, healthy police tactics, things that they go through. He is a really cool individual, and whether political views aside, it's just a really great listen to learn more about the police world. So I highly recommend the Theo Vaughn and Christopher Curtis um, podcasts free to listen to as well. So one of my favorites, finished it at the beginning of the week. And it's a little like graphic, I will say, like it was pretty intense. But if you have Theo on there, you know it's going to be funny. So I do highly recommend that as well. Something free to watch or listen to this week.
That was a good one. There's some crazy stories in there.
Good one.
Obviously, in Las Vegas, there's crazy stuff that goes on, but to hear somebody who was in the thick of it for like 20 years, some of the stories, we listened to it on a road trip back home last week, and we were like, dang, this is crazy. And I'm sure this stuff happens in a lot of cities, but you don't get to hear people talk about it like that. And yeah, I don't know if it'd be.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's on Theo's show because it lightens the mood just enough to where you could handle some of the graphic parts of it. But yeah, that was a great podcast we listened to. That's a good one to recommend for sure.
And then I guess like my last like fun one for the week or whatever that I wanted to bring in is, and again, like I think like I'm trying to throw out like all these fun things that we've been doing and we haven't talked about them, but we've been doing a workout every Saturday, the same workout for the last 3 weeks. And it's just an AMRAP or you go, I go more or less. And it's been something that like we've really like kind of pushed ourselves on. And I did it the first time and I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to not make this. But if you want a really hard challenge with a partner, you could do it, or you could like take a break and like rest for 45 seconds or whatever you want to do. But we've been doing, it's a 3 like set or 3 reps. So you do 3 dumbbell hang cleans, and then you do 3 dumbbell front squats, 3 dumbbell push press, and then 3 devil's presses. And it's just like 12 total reps, and then it's you go, I go. We've been doing it with 35-pound weights. It crushes me, but it's like a great motivation for me. Devil's press has always hurt me, but if you would love a good like motivator or a really hard just like workout to do throughout the week, a challenge, this is a good one. You could probably do for 15 minutes and you'd probably be crushed. But Chris and I've been doing it and we've gotten better each time we've done it. So just a little motivator, a little fun workout to do. Sometimes on Saturdays we're either at the gym lifting, typical doing our typical lifts, but sometimes it's just nice to do a little partner workout here and there. So highly recommend doing that one if you want a good challenge for yourself.
Yeah, good recommendation. That's been a good fun workout. It only takes 30 minutes too, so we've been able to to knock it out and go do whatever else we want to do. So yeah, that's been fun. We've done it literally in our driveway. We've done it at Shira's
Yep.
dad's workshop. Like you can do it anywhere. You can have a little mat and
Yep.
dumbbells. So yeah, nice recommendation there for sure.
Yep.
No, anything else? I know we've got, like I said, we've got busy week. We got CMA Fest coming up. We've got
Yes.
it's going to be tough for us to do another pod at least till next week. But anything else you wanna add?
Oh goodness. I think the other thing that I just wanted to like encourage people on is like there's a lot going on with like health and wellness right now. So we love to hear like if you have any questions, because when we do have a pod coming up, if you have a question or recommendation you would like to hear about us, let us know. Someone asked me the other day, like, what is my like go-to sweet? So again, I brought it on tonight. If you've had a Zevia before, um,
So
of
good.
course, it's probably not the most healthy thing in the whole world, but it is what it is for me as a diabetic that I love. I absolutely love the cream soda because I think it tastes fabulous. No carbs. It's got a few things. Stevia is a sweetener, so it's not the worst thing for you, but love it. If you need a little something sweet, that's been my sweet treat right now. And I've also had people asking me like, what are some of my snacks? And I've shared eggs. I've shared I love protein bars or like a IQ bar. But I've also like kind of shifted to some things recently, and I think like I'll share some of those coming into the summer because sometimes you just want to change up a little bit. So I'm gonna start sharing some of my summer snacks on the next pod, and also kind of sharing some of the things that I think we'll see as far as like healthy snacks in the future with some things that are happening in eliminating dyes and all these things coming up. So super excited to share some of that as well.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Shira is a certified nutritionist and a certified personal trainer. So if you have
Yeah.
questions around that, I know I get a lot of buddies messaging me, and I'm like, you just need to go talk to Shira because she's got all the info. She tells me, and I relay it to them. But yeah, if there's any questions or anything specific you'd like us to cover, we'd love to do it because we get a lot of questions that are kind of the same, and we could just knock them out here on the podcast and refer it. So yeah, good call there. Um, but no, babe, we got a hog game to get
A
to.
big game.
Woo, pig suey. So we're gonna hop off here, and we will catch y'all next time.
Sending you the best vibes this week. And thank you everybody for listening.
That's right. Go Hogs, baby.